The City of Tshwane plans to improve its water generation capacity in order to cater for residents and businesses. The municipality will intensify generation from 12.5% to 44% a day. Let's talk about this now with Daryl Johnson, who's the City of Tshwane's MMC for Utility Services. A very good afternoon to you, sir. This plan sounds rather ambitious, but what exactly does it mean in real terms, in terms of water coming out the tap?
So what it means is that Tshwane is in a unique position compared to our neighbouring metros and other municipalities nearby, in that we have our own water production facilities. We have our own sources, and we are able to treat that water to potable standards. So those facilities are running now, and we're currently producing around about, as you said, 12.5% potable water of our requirement. There are a number of factors that are impacting their full capacity, which would be the 44%. Those are due to raw water quality, pollution in the water sources, many of which emanate from other neighbouring municipalities, and then the ongoing issue of theft and vandalism. But with pulling all of that together, we would then be able to look at increasing our capacity, and beyond that, we would, through expansion of various locations, we would actually be able to increase our water production by another 400 megalitres or 400 million litres a day, and that would take us up to approximately 700 million litres per day, which is around about what we are currently buying from Rand Water on a daily basis.
How quickly, Daryl?
Take us to about 85% of what our requirement would be.
How quickly would you be able to do this, given that the problem people are dealing with is actually quite urgent?
Well, obviously, with what's happened over the last few weeks in October, it's something that I think was unexpected by the residents of Gauteng. But I think it's opened our eyes, and we realize that going forward, this isn't a crisis that's necessarily going to go away in the long term. It's going to continue repeating itself, especially if there are hot weather patterns. And so we are looking at expediting what we can. Obviously, from our own sources, that's quicker to turn around in terms of making the improvements, because the facilities are already there. It's about dealing with the incoming issues. But then, obviously, expansions are longer term. But still, realistically, we're looking over a 5-year period. It's not something that we're just able to instantly turn on.
And Daryl, if this is something that would be fairly, shall we say, easy to do, why was it not done before? Yes, I know water can be sourced from elsewhere, but if it's such a workable solution to making sure that there's always enough water in supply, why did the Metro not do it sooner?
Well, as I said, we've got a number of outside factors that are problematic and are impacting on the ability to do so. So that is why it's something that, since I assumed office in late April, this has been a focus for me, along with electricity security as well, because those are two key elements to any form of development. And this is something that is on the agenda and that we are pushing forward. But we do require the assistance of both provincial and national government in terms of addressing raw water qualities, pollutions in water sources and water courses, so that we can actually then augment our current situation.
Is the ultimate goal to wean yourself off the Rand water system?
Well, the fact is, we would never be able to go completely off the Rand water system. We don't have the capacity to entirely produce what is required, and bear in mind, you've got an ongoing population growth, so water is a finite resource. But the fact of the matter is that we would then be able to buffer ourselves and not be as reliant, which would obviously then free up Rand water in terms of being able to use what we are currently taking. They would be able to use elsewhere. There are obviously also, in certain instances, places where they are supplied within Tshwane directly off Rand water pipelines. They don't go into reservoirs per se, and that would obviously have to remain as a supplier. It would take a lot of reticulation to change that. So there would still always be a dependency. on Rand Water.
Do you think water restrictions may become in South Africa a norm in the next, say, 5 to 10 years when you consider the growing population numbers, which grow by the millions, really, as well as a warming environment? There's less rain as well, or intermittent in terms of, shall we say, unpredictable, in fact, cycle when it comes to rain in Gauteng at the moment.
Well, I think it's something that we really have to be alive to, and especially in the circumstance of the Lesotho Highlands Phase 2 project, which is well behind schedule. But we know from what has just happened now, it's not really a capacity issue. We've seen dam levels are sitting at virtually full. The problem that we've experienced over the last few weeks has been in terms of actually distributing that water via the purification systems and reticulation systems from Rand Water to the end users. And that's particularly where it's been hardest hit. Obviously, there have been technical issues, as I understand it, in the main from an Eskom supply side, whether it's through load shedding or actual technical supply issues to pump stations, that's exacerbated the situation. And then coupled with the hot weather, it's really provided a perfect storm. But I don't think that we can count this as a one-off situation.
How is the response to your appeal for people in Tshwane to use water sparingly going? Are they still obeying that?
Well, I think that we have seen positive results, and I think the levels at Rand Water speak to that. We've seen how they have certainly picked up over the last couple of weeks at quite a reasonable rate. It's obviously always difficult. It's not like electricity. Electricity, if your power's out, if you've got load shedding, you switch the switch, nothing comes on. Unfortunately, with water, there's still water in the taps. And so it is difficult to police and ensure. But I think our call has been heeded, and we've certainly seen year on year, Tshwane is using, currently over the last few weeks, we've certainly seen about 50 to 100 megalitres less per day than the previous year.
Daryl Johnson, Pretoria, or Tshwane's MMC for Utility Services. Grateful for your time, so thank you.